With 677 career victories, he leaves as one of the game's winningest coaches of all time. His nearly 300 conference wins between Cal and Stanford are the third most in league history, behind the greats Lute Olson and John Wooden. Coach directed Cal to its winningest 6-year stretch in school history, a postseason berth and a top 4 finish in the conference each year, and the program's first league title in more than 50 years. More importantly, he has served as a mentor to our fine student athletes here at Cal, guiding them as leaders and champions, both on and off the court. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Mike Montgomery.
Doug's obviously one of the great speakers of our time. I had a lot more stuff written there for Doug to talk about. He didn't quite finish the paper that I'd written, so I guess I'll have to take it from here. People wanted me out of here so bad they clapped when I came in, clapping for my retirement, so I guess I should have expected that. I was on the phone earlier. I guess it was the first time I'd actually told somebody that I was going to retire, and I said, yeah, I'm going to retire, and all of a sudden it was just clap of thunder and lightning and everything, and I thought, well, either it's the right time or it's too late, wondering what that took me so long. But, I envisioned this moment for, I guess, a long time, and I wish I had something to say that would encapsulate the whole breadth of the career that I've had, but I don't know what to say. I'm a little bit dumbfounded. I did my crying earlier. There was only 5 team members here, and I looked at them and I just kind of burst into tears, and I hope I won't do that now. The only thing that might save me is if I look and see Crumpacker. That'll bring me back to reality in a hurry. So thank you, John, for being here in the normal front row seat. But it's all good. It's all positive. It's all for the right reasons. I feel really good about my decision at this time. I just think it's time. There comes a time, and I could do it some more. I could, but I really feel like we've got the program positioned in a place where it's very positive. We've got good young players. We've got the people in place, I think, that should take this thing forward. And I really hope that happens. I'm proud of what we've accomplished here. It's been a great experience at Cal. This is a very unique place, as you all know, and it's been really fun to get to know the people that are Cal people and to be a part of Berkeley and all that it entails. You look back and there's always things you wish you could have done a little bit better, a little bit differently, but I think that's always going to be the case in this business. It's that kind of a business. But one of the things that I've always tried to do is do things the right way, and I feel like I have. And that probably is more important to me than... Quit it, Sarah. Probably more important to me than anything that I would have done in this business. There was 3 things that I wanted to do. Once I figured out that I was never going to be the greatest basketball coach. When I was young and impressionable, I thought that I could be. But I realized there's a lot of great basketball coaches out there, and I was just hoping to be mentioned with some of them. But what I wanted to do was, I wanted to have a career with no losing seasons, which I almost got done, 31 out of 32. Yet that group that was my losing team was probably some of my most loyal supporters at this time, people that I see that we have great relationships because of what we had to go through. 2, I wanted to try to average 20 wins, thinking that was some kind of measuring stick, and it was early in my career. And 3, and probably more importantly, I wanted to retire on my own terms. I didn't want to go out because, 1, my health wasn't good, which my health is great, and I wanted to go out making my own decision and not somebody else telling me that I couldn't coach anymore, and I think that I've done that. So it's all worked out. I think I'm a young 67. My health is good. And as I say, I'm really proud of what we've accomplished here. I wish we could have won a couple more, but as I look back on my career, I can't even imagine having the things that have happened for me, and as fortunate as I've been, to be able to coach with my son. To be able to have the relationships that I've had. The things that I'll miss most are the students, the kids, the players, the young people that have kept me young. I'll miss walking up and down the halls and talking with the other coaches. Slim Dizzle over there, I see her every day, and I kid with all the people, and it's fun. It's fun to see all the young people and the people that you kind of kibitz with a little bit. And those are things that I enjoy. I just always enjoy the relationships that you have with people, and this is no exception. So I leave, and it's just as positive as it can be. There's just no negatives. I just think it's time for me, and I know people are going to want to, well, is there a reason? Is there something? No, there really isn't. It's time for me to turn it over to somebody else. It's time for younger people to put in the time and energy that I put in over the years. I will say this, and I would be remiss, and I mean this with all my heart. Don't ever marry a coach. That wasn't meant for you, John, but I mean it's hard being a coach's wife, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate my wife Sarah and my family. Quit it, Annie. My daughter Annie, because they've been a part of this as much as I have the whole way, and they're probably going to miss this more than me, because they're at every game and follow, and every heartbreak we've ever had, they've been there through every one of those things. So it's with a great deal of pride that I retire as a college basketball coach. And it's a little scary, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I'm going to do at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been walking in a gym every day for 53 years. Every afternoon I've walked into a gym. And I'll miss that. But it's time to try to find something else. It could be 2 more years or 3 more years, and I'd still have the same issue to try to figure out what I'm going to do every day. I want to thank the University of California, Sandy, for giving me this opportunity to spend time with you people and be the coach at the University of California and continue my career in basketball. And I hope that we can continue to have relationships and talk and be a part of this whole thing. But thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm really happy and proud. This is the right time for me, and I hope you all appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, I'd like to welcome Director of Athletics, Sandy Barber.
Thank you, Doug. Well, there are a lot of things you don't want to do, and one of them is follow Mike Montgomery to the podium. That was classic Mike, as we all could anticipate. So I want to start with Mike. Thank you, Sarah, Annie, John. This has, as you so rightfully pointed out, this has been a family affair. That's a lot of what coaching is about, but you in particular and your family certainly brought that to us, and we are incredibly, incredibly grateful. Doug did the numbers. They're stunning. They're absolutely stunning. 130 victories at Cal, our first conference championship in 50 years. We are the only team to finish in the top 4 of the conference standings in each of Mike Montgomery's 6 seasons, and the 3rd winningest program in the Pac-12 over that time. So clearly this program is in very, very good position, and it's thanks to Mike Montgomery and his staff. 32 seasons as a college head coach. Mike already alluded to it. 31 winning seasons in those 32 years. That's pretty incredible. But it's not the numbers that have left the impression on me. It's not the numbers. It's well beyond the numbers that have left the lasting impression, the legacy of Mike Montgomery here at Cal. It's, I am most thankful and on behalf of our community, most grateful for the opportunity to know and work with Mike Montgomery, the man. He has been unbelievable to work with. He's a true educator at his core. The things that he talked about that are what kept bringing him back year after year. He cares deeply for the young men who he recruits and then has the pleasure to coach. And he's always been about details. And I am so glad that he was willing to talk about, because I'm going to talk about it too, the fact that he always did it the right way. A man of incredible integrity and incredible character, who was always preparing his student athletes for the challenges of not only the game, but what is next for them. Mike was always preparing them to get ready for life. And he's always done it the right way. I am so proud and so grateful to have had this opportunity. And I know that the young men in our program over these 6 years and our entire community are grateful and know how privileged we have been to have Mike Montgomery lead our men's basketball program. But again, more importantly, it's about having Mike the person and Mike's family. So again, Mike, thank you. Sarah, thank you. It has been a wonderful ride. We are privileged to have been a part of it. And very, very grateful for that. So while we certainly celebrate Mike's career today, and we will have other moments to do that and other appropriate ways to do that here in the near future, I will certainly turn my attention to the best fit candidate for this job. Beginning immediately, we will do a national search. And while it will certainly be difficult to replace Coach Montgomery, as a matter of fact, I don't think you replace Mike Montgomery, but he and his staff have made this, and many in this room have made this an incredibly attractive job. The program is in great position with great young men in this program and a great future. And so I expect that this job and this role will have great, great national interest. Obviously, because of the nature of the search, both in terms of the expediency and the need for confidentiality. Most of you in this room have worked with me through some of these searches before. Other than the brief Q&A after, once we're done here today, I will have no further comment about the search itself until we're done. So, thank you.
We will now open it up for a question and answer session. We ask that only members of the media ask questions, and if you could raise your hand and a member of our staff will come over with a microphone. John, go ahead.
John Crumbacker from the Chronicle. Mike, you said it was time. Was there any one event or incident that summed it up and told you that it's time?
That ice pack on the nose the other day, that ankle is still, no, I kind of alluded to that. No, it's accumulation of just things. There is never any one thing. It's kind of the totality of the experience. And I just think that, Sandy will get mad at me, but we've got the guy in this room that should have this job, and that's my assistant, Travis. And I'm really hoping that Sandy comes to that conclusion ultimately. We're positioned very, very well, and I just felt that at this point in time with this young group, that this would be the best time to make that move. And as I say, it's harder for me to do practice plans. It's harder for me to answer questions. It's harder for me to do all the things. And as I say, I would rather go out when I still have a little juice and have my health than know that I can't do it anymore.
Mike, when did you actually decide, and did you and Sandy really have a conversation about this yesterday or today, or you just pretty much made up your mind?
Do you think I lied to you, Jeff? I have this feeling at the end of every year. My assistants kind of laugh at me because every year it's like, it just gets long. And so I needed to get away and just make sure that the decision that I, thought was the right decision was the right decision. So we talked today, and I think I could have said, Sandy, I'm good to go, and I think she'd have been fine with that. But it was a situation where I told her that, I'm thinking about it, and you need to kind of prepare in case that's what happens. And but as time went on, I just felt it was the right decision.
Ian Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. Mike, you said there are things you always wish you could do a little better. Any regrets after 32 years?
Well, not yes and no. I often chided myself sometimes about being a little bit standoffish and not being warmer and fuzzier with people sometimes. I think over the time that's never been really my style, but I always kind of came to the conclusion that that's just who I was, and it worked for me. I kind of isolated myself a little bit, and it started way back in Montana. I just didn't like people in my inner circle very much. So I always kind of kept in a close-knit group, and I think ultimately everybody kind of understood that. I've got all kinds of emails today from former players just thanking me for having coached them and all that kind of thing. So regret, sure, I wish we could have won more. There were times when I thought, we took a team to Final Four once, and that wasn't my best team. So there were other teams that I thought were really well positioned. I wish there was one more thing that could have happened, or maybe I could have done to force that team over the top and get them there. But in its total, probably not something I would dwell on.
Mike, what qualities does Travis have that you think would be a good fit here to succeed you?
Well, one of the things I think that, if anybody would have thought that we've done a good job in 6 years, he's been a huge part of it. He's worked tirelessly to get this academic thing turned around. We took a little bit of hit in the press because of the academics, but they weren't our guys. And so we didn't like that. We didn't like the idea that we were kind of getting labeled, that we weren't doing our job academically. Travis has been huge in turning this thing around in terms of hiring learning specialists and making sure our kids are in a position to graduate. As you know, one of the issues with this whole graduation thing is kids in this pro thing, as soon as the season's over, they're gone. And, we've done everything we possibly can with parents and agents and everybody else to try to get kids to stay, but we don't have control. So when kids bail out, we lose points. And that has been a huge component of one of the things. But bigger than that, the players in our program trust Travis. And that is huge in today's business. They want to play for him. And he's developed a relationship with these kids, and he's developed relationships with the people that we need to recruit that trust him. And so I think that alone is huge with this group of young kids. We have a terrific group of young people that are ready to take the next step. And we dealt with stuff all the time that we kind of had to wade through. And this group's ready to move forward. And in my opinion, they're ready to move forward with Travis at the helm.
Yeah, Mark Purdy with the Mercury News in San Jose. Mike, speaking of that pro thing, did you need to come back here to Cal after your experience in the NBA to prove to yourself that you could still do this? In retrospect, now that it's over, can you talk about that a little bit?
You're a wily old sage, aren't you, Kurt? You always have been.
I am old. I deny everything else.
My wife had made a statement to me that I probably didn't realize at the time, but after getting fired for the first time by the Warriors, she said, you've lost a lot of your confidence. And one of the things that I did have at Stanford, because we had done so well, is I had a lot of confidence. And like all of us in life, confidence is a big thing. You don't really realize it, but and I didn't realize that I was exhibiting a little lack of confidence. So in answer to your question, yes, I needed to do something to get back on the horse and prove that I don't know prove's the right word, but maybe to myself, and get back with young people that I probably am much better prepared to deal with and work with and provide leadership for. And so it was something I needed, and for that I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had here. I guess I would have felt bad if the last thing I did was that, and I was 60, I guess, 59, 60, 61, where I was out and too young not to do anything. And so it was pretty important to do something again and get to feel good about who I was and what I'd done. John?
Yeah, this question is for Sandy. Sandy, you've obviously heard Mike's endorsement. I'm curious what you do with something like that
Well,
in terms of his successor.
you pay attention. Mike said it, the success that this program has had and those that have been involved certainly demands a good look, absolutely. And there is no doubt in my mind that Travis DeCoeur is a significant candidate for this job. But just like we always do when we have a head coaching opening, we will do a national search and we will hire the absolute best fit.
Mike, when you came here, you said and you knew that this would be apples and oranges from across the bay when you were at Stanford. Looking back at the 6 years, what have you found about being here that was most pleasurable for you, that you enjoyed the most, that maybe was different?
People at Cal. I really like the people here. And that's not to say that I probably didn't come out right, did it? I really enjoyed the friendships and the people that I've met here, and their passion for the university. I've really met a lot of people I really enjoy being around, and that Sarah and I will have, we hope, as longtime friends. It is different, and it is apple. Maybe it's grapefruit and avocados. It's just different. It's just a different deal, and it's both good. It's all good. It's, you're talking about two of the top universities in the world, both public and private, so there's nothing to be unhappy about either way. But just getting to know the people here has been really a positive for me. We got a lot of great coaches here that really have to work hard. There's this thing called the Cal way that isn't always the easiest way to get things done, but every coach here deals with it, and they deal with it in a very positive manner. I mean, I walk down the hallway and I got Dave Durden down there, and I got Rich Feller down there, and I got Rich Corso. I walk by those guys every day, and I'd stop generally every day and just talk about stuff, and it's really fun to watch coaches succeed here. One of the regrets I have, and I wish, it's too bad, but it's the way it is I wish all the coaches were in one place. I wish that I had the same relationship with the football coaches and, Desimone and those guys up top. I don't get to see those guys enough because I love coaches. I love talking with them about stuff. And unfortunately, we're separated, so I don't get to have those relationships. But I just think that the people here and the passion they have for this university is tremendous.
I have two questions. One is a quick follow-up to Wiley Mark's question. So would the Warriors be one of the things you regret? Any regret?
No, I don't. I think that would be, I probably think I was a little ill-suited for that. I probably don't think I was prepared as well as I needed to be for what that was. And so from that respect, I wish I'd have been more prepared to deal with the personalities that are involved in professional sports. But no, I don't look back as that as a negative. I mean, how many people ever get a chance to coach at the highest level? And I don't know that the timing was great or the mix was great in that particular situation for me, or for them for that matter, but I don't have any regrets that way. I have done that. I've seen that. I know firsthand what goes on, so I watch Mark Jackson and I just laugh. It's just comical now that we're going to criticize Mark Jackson. But it's the nature of that thing. So, but I've been there and I know that and I've seen that. So it made me a better person, but it did take a little bit out of me as well.
Also, just over the course of things, talking about your successor and about graduation rates and everything, how much harder is this job now than it used to be?
Coaching? Well, this whole one and done thing, I mean, that's just a whole series, a book you could write. about this whole culture that it is college sports right now, with unionization and all of this stuff that we're dealing with whether it's amateur, whether it's not amateur, whether they should be paid, whether they shouldn't be paid. You could argue both sides of all that stuff. It's just different from the standpoint of, there was a time, in my opinion, and I still believe this, and makes me a little bit of a dinosaur, that I think a college scholarship's a heck of a deal. I mean, I get to get a scholarship to go play college sports. I mean, that's a heck of a deal to me, but it's not enough now for a lot of people. And there's a lot of other people involved, particularly probably in college basketball, that have their hooks into these kids, and that's more difficult. I think one of the things that makes Cal unique is that Cal's not easy. You got to earn a degree here. You just can't walk through the doors and they say, oh, that guy's a basketball player, we'll take care of him. That's not the way it is here, and all the people that graduated understand that from here. They take pride in what they had to do to graduate and have a Cal degree. So that makes it tough. I mean, at Cal, they ask you to write a 12-page paper, not a 2-page paper that you got out of Reader's Digest. I mean, they're going to ask you to write a paper, and that makes it unique. You got to be prepared for this. But, I think anytime an older coach starts to complain about the way it is now, I'm always reminded when my dad laughed at Elvis Presley and the Beatles. And I'm sitting there as a youngster saying, isn't this great, Dad? And he's just laughing, tears rolling down how foolish it is. So there's generational things that we all deal with, and I'm aware that things are changing. And I think the younger group of coaches will make those adjustments to those things.
Sandy, since this is the last time you're apparently going to speak on the coaching search, would you have any hesitation in general in hiring a well-regarded assistant coach? Or does Mike's successor have to have been a head coach previously?
We're looking for the best fit, and obviously you're referring to Travis as our associate head coach, and again, Travis has been a part of this incredible 6-year run. He's learned at the hand of one of the preeminent men's basketball coaches in all of college basketball history. He's supremely talented in his own right, and he's going to fit into that picture of a really great fit for Cal. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a leader. We're looking for someone, obviously, who can do the X's and O's. We're looking for someone who's going to do it the right way, who is going to have the ability to come into this very complex university and navigate all that is here, and bring the right young men into this university to perform in our basketball program and have an opportunity to engage with the education that's here. And that may be someone who's not been a sitting Division I head coach. It may be someone who's had a lot of success someplace else.
Yeah. Just to correct, so did you know your last game was going to be your last game when you walked off that floor the other night, number one? And number two, moving ahead, you say you're in good health. Is this, looking ahead, are you just not going to go into a gym at all? Or are you did pretty well as a TV thing?
No,
and would you work as a consultant assistant for somebody? I don't know.
I really enjoyed the way we finished the season. I thought the kids were really positive, and there wasn't everybody back from spring break yet, so there's only a few guys there. But I started to cry just because of the relationship you have with these kids, and I want to coach David Kravish and Ty and Jabari and that thing. But next year it'll be another group of kids that all want to coach. So at some point you have to make that decision. I needed to step away. The environment at SMU was spectacular. It was a great environment in which to play a game, and we were one stop away from, going on to New York, which would have been great. We were one stop away in the regular season from going to the NCAA tournament. Now that's how finite this thing is. But it would be extremely hard for me to completely walk away from the game. I expect that if the decision is made to bring back the current staff, I expect to guide them through it as much as they would want me to. I will be there for them. Wherever my son is, I will be there for him. And I probably will try to do some TV to lend, but I don't think I'm not sure I'm going to be, I got to be careful here. I mean, I probably wouldn't know when the last Grateful Dead concert is or things of that nature. But I think I have something to add to how the game should be played and what I see. So, I mean, everybody has a different style, and I think I could do that. I could do that and have some value. I mean, I need to do something that's going to have value. So, I want to find something to where somebody values my opinion. I feel like I'm helping somebody, and there's probably people out there. Hopefully, maybe I can help in some ways. So, I want to do that.